Hi guys, hopefully you can hear me well enough. It's beautiful out here today. Late October apparently feels like early September here in Israel. So hi, it's a beautiful day. I'm up on the rooftop at the co-working space where I'm at, and I'm here with you on Tuesday because it's time for another live. You can see Haifa behind me and the little baby olive tree. I turned it the wrong way. See, it's beautiful, but the sun's kind of bright. Anyways, hi. So today I want to talk to you about lead magnets for your business. You guys know that I make them all the time for bookkeepers. You see me posting, like the PDFs and the layouts and the information. So, but maybe you just need to help put one together for yourself. Just recently I did some copy editing for someone who wanted to design it themselves but wanted a little help with the content. So I'm going to go through some tips for it. I've got it broken out into 3 sections, 3 tips for each section, just to make it really easy to follow, really easy to execute. And I'll explain, like why lead magnets are a good thing to have and all that stuff. So let's jump in on lead magnets. All right, let me get to the right document on my other screen. Here we go. All right, so lead magnets. What do I mean by that? They're also called freebies. It's also gated material. So a lead magnet is it's a piece of content marketing that's really strategic. And what you're doing is you're giving away something for free. You're giving away a solution for free, something good enough that people would actually pay for it. But you're giving away tools or tips that people can use to immediately solve a felt problem related to your industry. And you use it as a strategy for lots of reasons. And I'll get into that apparently right now, according to my notes. So you want to create this lead magnet for a lot of reasons. So you've heard the adage, like know, like, and trust, right? Lead magnets are perfect for this. You want people to get to know you. You want people to trust you as an authority in your field, and you want people to like you. Well, guess what? If you are sharing something useful that's solving a problem of theirs, not only are you demonstrating, what the problem they have is, you're also showing them how to solve it. That's really good. That shows you as an authority, right? And it builds trust. And not only that, it creates reciprocity. As human beings, it's just like if someone gives you a gift, you want to give a gift in return, right? There's this feeling like, oh, I should give something back, or it kind of leaves this open-ended thing. So if you're giving away something valuable for free, it kind of leaves this open-ended conversation. It makes them more willing to pay attention to you and more willing to honestly hire you later. Also, it increases likability. Look what a nice person I am, giving away something helpful and for free, right? That's a good thing. Know, like, trust, right? And also, everyone knows it, but it's not a bad thing. It is a strategic tool. So this kind of goes back into the other content marketing stuff that I do. So with the social media stuff, you kind of have to earn the right to sell your services, and the lead magnet is a part of that. You are earning the right to build relationships with them and eventually have them as paying customers. It's a strategic tool. It's not meant to just give away and never hear from these people again. What you're trying to do is start a conversation. You're trying to get them to the next step, right? But this is something you use early in the process to help build that relationship with them. Mostly people use it to grow their email list. I've used it for relational stuff too. It's all about moving the relationship forward, right? So there are all sorts of lead magnets you can make. I'm going to focus on the stuff that I make for bookkeepers. You can Google this if you want to. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. I've seen, for example, business coaches. They'll do money archetype quizzes or personality quizzes, and they're fun, they're cute. And it moves the conversation forward. It makes the coach look likable. It gets you in their world, stuff like that. Some people do video series. I've seen people make mini courses online and give it away for free. Free trials, if you have a software or something like that, free trials to get them to see how good your stuff is and then have you sign up. For example, HubSpot is something I started using recently. I got a free trial so I could get used to it and kind of addicted to it. You could do cheat sheets, you could do top tips, you could do all sorts of things like that. What I usually do with my lead magnets is I make valuable PDFs, sometimes with external links. And what I do is I help bookkeepers break down difficult processes or concepts when it comes to financial stuff. Because of course, accounting jargon, it makes your customers' eyes glaze over. It's hard to understand, so it's a felt problem. So a lot of what I do is I just use Canva to create PDFs to give them like cheat sheets. So for example, one of the lead magnets I have is 10 QuickBook hacks. So and every hack leads to a QuickBooks video detailing how to do a certain task faster or better. And then I also break down, like concepts or differentiations. I'm working on something that helps distinguish between helps distinguish between accrual, that's the A word I want, accrual and cash when it comes to your business financial setup. And I also have like a booklet about financial terms. People don't always know what a profit and loss statement is. Sometimes they need some help reading the report and interpreting it. So I created a lead magnet to solve that problem, and I'll get into that more like that. So that's the kind of stuff I make. That's the kind of stuff you can make. Once again, I make them all the time. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, like studio production videos. The idea is you're solving a problem, and you can do that in a simple PDF. You can do that in a simple document. You don't have to overcomplicate it. So, for example, something that I have used in my business, the one I used as my personal lead magnet tool, once again, you can get creative. For example, I had a tool that I used internally as a reference, and I realized one day that this is something that would be helpful for potential clients. So I also write bookkeeping websites, right? So I have a whole list of bookkeeping websites and social media links and stuff like that for my own reference as kind of like a swipe list. And I realized that bookkeepers were always asking, share your website links, would you mind doing that? And I'm like, well, I already have an existing list. So it's literally it was just a Google Sheets document. I added a little bit to it. I didn't even make it a PDF. And as I started to create these connections in these groups, what I did is I'd be like, hey, I do this all the time for bookkeepers. I have something that'd be helpful. Can I send this to you? And they loved it, and like it became a way for me to get known as an authority in writing websites for bookkeepers. I became helpful. What I sent them had my branding and information all over it, and they can come back to me, either that day or maybe later. It all depends. I'm putting the tool out there. I'm moving the conversation forward. So that's what I did for mine. So you may have an internal tool in your business that you're like, oh, I'll bet I can turn this into like, a couple page PDF and, upload it to my site in no time. You can get creative. But let me get into like the 3 parts. So there are 3 things that I want to get into just to have a real quick overview. Your content, your design, and your strategy for your lead magnet, okay? I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to get, crazy exhaustive about it. I'm going to go 3 tips for each of those 3 sections, okay? So 1, content, super easy. Solve one specific problem fast. So that's the idea. You want to solve something that they can implement immediately. You're not trying to help them solve the entirety of accounting vocabulary, but you can help them figure out the difference between cash and accrual, okay? Solve one problem completely. Once again, when it came to the bookkeeper websites, they wanted to know all sorts of things. Who was the web host that you used? Did you hire a writer or not? Do you have a blog? I didn't tell them that stuff. The one thing I solved is because they would ask for links to websites. I have a list of links. Here's the solution to that one problem. It solved it immediately in the list. That's it. I solved one problem well. I solved it fast. And they had everything they needed with my information on it. And here's the thing. I know you're probably going to want to be like, well, it's related to these 3 ideas, so I really want to provide that. And look, there's 2 ways you can do that. One, you have multiple ideas. Dude, you got multiple lead magnets. That's great. And then you can share them at different times and situations. Having that kind of content and reusing it, it's great. It's so good. Also, if you have like 10 ideas, guess what? You got like a top 10 list. If you can boil it down into like 2 pages or something like that, you've got a list. That's a great lead magnet. So, but for the purpose of simplicity, solve one specific problem fast, okay? That's something very important when it comes to your content. Number 2, here's another one. So I'm always looking up statistics on like business success and things of that nature. One of the main reasons why businesses fail is they aren't meeting a market need. They start a business with this great idea, but then no one actually wants to buy it. So in the same vein, when it comes to your lead magnet, make sure that you're solving a problem that they care about. I responded to this need. I saw this in bookkeeper threads They're like, I need links to other bookkeeper websites so I know how to write mine. Great, I have that. I knew it was a real need of theirs, and so it worked. So make sure that before you go into the work of creating your lead magnet for all of this stuff, that it's actually something they care about, that they actually want the solution, that it's actually a problem they feel, right? Again, the best way to do this is to think about the questions you hear over and over again from your clients. Do you have like an FAQ list, things of that nature? So for example, I created a lead magnet for one of my clients specifically because she's been an accountant for years, and she kept getting questions about like how to read financial reports. And so they would just keep coming in. And so she's like, I want to create a resource for them. So it's now a part of her onboarding package for her new clients. It's a resource she can send out. It's a way that she gets emails on her website. She's being very clever in how she's using it. But once again, she knew it was a felt need because she heard multiple clients ask about it. It's a great place to find out. So make sure that the problem you solve is a problem they care about, right? Okay. And then also, for your lead magnet, have a good headline. I've shared this multiple times. I will keep sharing it because it is important to your content. The saying is that when it comes to your advertising dollar, 80 cents of it gets spent, of that dollar, on your headline. Your headline is what gets people to download it from your website. Your headline is what gets people to open the email if you send it by email. It's an important, you have to make sure that your headline is good. It's just a very basic part of content marketing. There are tools out there for analyzing your headlines. CoSchedule has a great headline analyzer. If you're not confident, do that. Some general guidelines for creating a good headline for your lead magnet. 1, use numbers. 6 top tips for cutting your QuickBooks time in half, or something like that. Use numbers. Numbers are very good. It's an easy, fast way to give concrete expectations, right? Ask a question. Think about so this is my journalism background coming in, but think about reporter questions. Who, what, where, when, how. How is a great question. How to reconcile your books in half the time. How to stop making these 6 QuickBooks mistakes. Things of that nature. Well, that's a how. Yes, it is. But you get what I'm saying. It's like you ask a question because it sparks a response in the other person. It kind of automatically lights up like, oh, well, what is the answer to that question? So make sure that you're letting them know what the benefits are being focused on or the pain points. Let them know what you're actually solving. Again, something I go into. Don't just say it's 10 ways. Make sure that you talk about this is how it makes your life better, not these are the 4 features of my newest program that doesn't work. What was the headline rater again? CoSchedule, Kate. Let me double check that real quick. Yep, CoSchedule headline analyzer. Put that into Google. You'll be set to go. Super helpful. I use it all the time for myself. All right, so anyways, use numbers when it comes to your headlines, and then ask a question, benefits and pain points, la la la. Also, keep length in mind. This is something else that the headline analyzer will help you do. So for example, if you're sending this as a link through email or something like that, you only have an X number amount of characters. The headline, the name, what was the headline rater? CoSchedule is the name. If you Google CoSchedule headline analyzer, it'll pop right up for you. And if you can't find it, Kate, just send me a message. I'll send you the link for it. I promise. But keep in mind, when you are analyzing your headlines, make sure it's within a certain length. So if you're going to be sending it through email, it has to be within an X amount of characters for them to see the whole thing, or at least get the biggest, most important chunks of it in the beginning. Same with, I know some people have used it for Facebook ads, things of that nature. You really want to get that across. So that's the content. So 3 things on content: solve one problem fast and complete, make sure it's a problem they care about, have a good headline. All right, let's get into design real quick. Canva is where I work. I have a paid membership, but you can do a lot of stuff in there for free, and the paid membership isn't that much. I can't remember the top of my head what it is, but it's not bad. You can start from a blank page, you can start from scratch, or you can check out the templates. Good job. So you can start from a blank page in Canva, or you can work from one of their templates. And actually, if you don't feel comfortable with like how to design things and spacing and stuff like that, looking at the templates, there's tons of stuff in there. You get a really good idea of how to lay things out and space things out for sure. So if you're looking at templates, check out the marketing templates, especially the infographics, the flyers. It'll be really good for this kind of stuff. And also, when you're in those sections, you can type in things like, yellow checklist or green infographic, base it off of whatever your brand colors are. Also, keep in mind that you can change the size of the document. It'll help resize it for you in there. So say you want to print the flyer out, like actually give a physical copy to potential clients or at an event, you can change it to an 8.5 by 11, even if it's starting out like it's like a long skinny PDF. So there's lots of ways that you can do this, that you can repurpose it. Once again, good content, use it over and over again wherever you're at. All right, so let me get into these 3 basic rules for when you're designing this. Again, if you're not comfortable with it, use the templates. If you are kind of working from scratch or doing a lot of heavy edits from them, number 1, leave breathing room. Do not fill every inch with number 10 point, Times New Roman, 8 sentence long paragraphs. No. We're not here to be thorough. We're not here to write every single possible word down. That's not what it is. You want to leave breathing room. It's better for the eyes and it won't overwhelm them. It's not helpful for them. It really isn't. It's not helpful for them when it's completely full of text. It doesn't help. Leave white space. If you have paragraphs, keep it to no more than 2 or 3 sentences as much as possible. And if you need to go in more in depth, there's actually a really good strategy you can do for this. Say that you feel like you can't answer it fully. Once again, I mentioned this in like the QuickBooks hacks that I did. I linked, I had the 10 tips, and I did a 1-sentence overview of each of the tips. For example, like keyboard shortcuts in QuickBooks. And then I included a link to a QuickBooks video so that they could go solve the problem more effectively. I'm not trying to get every single word in there, but I'm giving them the full solution or the path to the full solution. Even better, if you have a blog or something like that already made on your site, you're pointing them back to your content. That's great. You're continuing the conversation, pointing them your way. But even if you can't, send them to like a video, like a QuickBooks video. There's tons of stuff on there. Are you more accountant and tax related? TurboTax is great stuff on there you can break into. So leave breathing room. Don't try and put every single word on the page, right? Another thing, break up your text. Again, don't have just solid chunks of 10-point Times New Roman. Use subheaders, use bullet points, use different font sizes, use visuals like color blocks or icons. So for example, in this one I'm making on like cash and accrual, it's just like I have a symbol of a hand holding a piece of cash. It's a way to break up the text, leave more room, and also just kind of like bring in a different part of your brain. So that's more memorable in that sense. And then also when you're making a list, you'll be able to use your judgment. Rule of 3 is really good. We like 3. We like Goldilocks and the 3 bears. We like things in sets of 3. It makes sense to us. The Holy Trinity, stuff like that. So if you're trying to come up with like a set of lists or a set of tips or bullet points, 3 is a really good number to keep it to. So break up the text. Use all those ways to break it up. Don't put solid chunks of content. And then number 3, just keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Don't overfancy it. Clarity beats fancy. Remember, you're not trying to prove that you're a designer. That's not. You're trying to clearly solve a problem for them. Again, you don't have to add animation. You don't have to add crazy swirly fonts. You don't have to add 15 million colors. You have 2 main objectives here. You are trying to clearly and completely solve a problem of theirs, right? And make sure that your information is on this sucker, okay? If you can clearly solve their problem and make sure they know how to get in touch with you, great, you've won the day. Don't go crazy with the fonts and the colors and the Instagram, whatever. You're here to solve a problem. Make sure that you solve the problem for them. Also, when it comes to colors, 2 good things that you can keep in mind when it comes to color management if you're not working from a template. 1, work from your brand colors if you have them. If you're trying to come up with 1 or 2 extra colors, go into Pinterest, just type in the search bar color swatches. If your color is royal blue, put that in. It'll come up with a whole bunch of great suggestions. And then also read a short blog on some basic color theory. So for example, if you're, 2 basic things to keep in mind. On the color wheel, red and green are opposite from each other, so they will look good together, okay, because they're complementary. Another thing that I really like is triads. So you basically draw a triangle on the color theory wheel. One of my favorites is green, purple, and orange, for example. They just happen to work well together, and if you turn the triangle, it has other good colors. Again, you don't have to go crazy. The idea is to solve a problem clearly, cleanly, and make sure it advances the conversation with you. So, all right, so for design, leave breathing room, break up your text, and keep it simple. Now let's go into the strategy. You want to figure out how to deliver it effectively. There's no one right way to do this, and you honestly want to do it in multiple ways. Email is one of the most effective ways to do it, as well as, and website pop-up pairs along with that. So when you email them, if you do want to send a lead magnet to your email list, make sure that you have it as a link back to your website or to wherever it is. If you add it as an attachment, it has more of a likely to get kicked into spam. Spam filters don't like attachments. And the good thing is, if you put the link in there, once again, you're putting them back into your territory. You're putting them back onto your website. So you like that, so keep that in mind. If you do have a website pop-up, I know some people have asked me about how to add it to a website. I have a workaround. I need to improve it. I'm not the expert on that. But I know that some people have, like website designers they work with, ask for their help in adding a website pop-up. And all that is saying, I have this tool to help you solve X problem, enter your email, and I'll send it to you right now. Things of that nature. So that's another way to deliver it. And then, like, the way that I used it is I used it like when it came to conversations, when I was like networking and making connections in Facebook groups. Once again, if the problem came up, I had it in my back pocket, and I would hear that they had this problem with bookkeeping websites. Can I send this to you? I have this list. And then it would further the conversations with them. It was an easy way to get into the DMs with them naturally without being creepy or slimy. So you can use it in those conversations as well. But there are lots of ways to deliver it, but those are some main ones. Number 2, another piece of strategy for using these things, like I said, repurpose the heck out of it. Like I said, I have one client who used it as an onboarding tool for her new clients. She has it as an email pop-up on her website as well. Sorry, I'm right in the main street here in Haifa, and basically all the ambulances come down here. Again, she uses it as a tool for existing client FAQs. I have another client who used the lead magnet as a Facebook ad incentive. Another one, she wants to create one that she can share both digitally and as a hard copy mailed letter. There's so many ways you can use it. Don't just use it in one place. Good content can be repurposed over and over. That's why it's so good, it's so valuable, and it saves you so much work having to remake it over and over again. You don't have to remake the wheel. Try and find ways to do it in multiple places. So repurpose the heck out of it. And then 3, this is very important when it comes to your strategy, and I've said this earlier in this video, tell them the next steps for how to work with you, how to get more value from you, stuff like that. This is not supposed to be the end of the conversation, it's supposed to be the beginning. The lead magnet is supposed to be a point that leads them to working with you, and you don't want to make them guess. So something that's very basic when it comes to like content strategy and on your website or anywhere else is the CTA, the call to action. Tell them what the next thing is. Whether that's you can follow, a link to you can follow more on my blog. That's a good one, like I said earlier. Schedule a call today. If the lead magnet doesn't quite leave room for something as direct as call today, make sure that your brand and your contact information, your website, your email, your call calendar, whatever, is on there. If it's digital, make sure it's hyperlinked. You can do that on your logo, you can do it on the text. It's easy, you can do that in Canva, no sweat. Just make sure that when they have it, they know it's from you. So for example, one client I had, she did a month bookkeeping checklist. So the idea was to have the client print it out, but we made sure that her branding was all over that sucker, and we had her email, her website, and her logo all over it. That way, if they do print it out, that's great, but then they're seeing her logo, they're seeing her information every day. Again, you want this to be the beginning of a conversation, not the only conversation you have with them. So try and think about the next place you want them to be and tell them clearly what the next thing is. Don't make them guess. If you make them guess, they won't do it. So, all right. So, That's what I got for you today. So the strategy, once again, deliver it effectively, repurpose the heck out of it, deliver it a lot of ways, and 3, tell them next steps. Keep the conversation going. That's what the lead magnet is for. So that's what I got for you today. It really hasn't been easier to make a good lead magnet, and a good lead magnet is just, it's solving a problem in a clear, effective way. It doesn't have to be a crazy video. It can just be a well put together PDF or document, even spreadsheet. Like I said, my first one was like, a Google Sheet. But it yields really good results. It builds relationships. It shows you as an authority. It gets people back in your world and continuing the conversation with you. And you can use them over and over and over again. I'm still, I'll tweak and add to it, but I'm still using the lead magnet I first started using a year ago. And I use it over and over. I've shared it. It's on my website dozens of times. It's valuable. So use this. You can definitely handle doing it. However, if you don't have time, or you're not confident of your design skills or how to pick the right topic or write about it, I got you covered. I do this all the time. I can make one from scratch or do one more affordably by rebranding from something I've already got. I'm always making new ones. I've got 3 in the works right now. Oh, good, Kate. I'm so glad it helped. Let me know if you need anything. You'll definitely be able to handle this. I have full faith in you. You have great content, great instinct. So, anyways, but yeah, if you guys need any help or don't want to handle this on your own and want to outsource it, you know where to find me. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. If you want to see samples of stuff I've done, I've got links in the sidebar. And yeah, just send me a DM. I'm on Facebook. I live here, so just shoot me a message, whatever you guys need. All right, that's my Tuesday live. That's all I got for you. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.